Closter Mira Mullingar, St Aidan's Whitehall, Rice College Westport, St Flannan's and St Michael's. It could be anyone's. As you see here, the gun go off there in the background. Very, very strong competition here. I, to be honest, couldn't even tell you who is going to win this team title. It's just that close. You can see just on the right hand side of your screen there, massive fall there at the very, very start of that. That'll cause a lot of hassle. You can see there on the right hand side of the screen the young chap in blue is working very, very hard to get up to that group. Probably not a great idea. It's very, very early on the race, so he could take his time there and work up through the field. You often see that when people fall, they'll absolutely fly after everyone else. But this is a very, very, very fast start here from these athletes. As you can see, I think that's most likely Finley Daly there of Abbey Community College in Boyle leading that one. So a very, very fast start here. These boys are not hanging around. They're getting out and they're getting involved. So as you can see, Quiva Harrington is our intermediate schools champion to go with her minor and junior titles as well. So very, very strong run from her. First was Quiva Harrington, second Niamh and Nicarla, third Jodie McCann. And I'll give you an idea of where those girls are from there now. Niamh McCarda was from Closh to Ishigon and Jodie McCann from Ratdown School in Wicklow. So very, very strong work there from the Leinster individuals, Niamh McCarda and Jodie McCann. So we could take a quick look there as I step all over my mic. These lads are still all very much packed together in this field. We can see there in second place, an athlete in red, looks to be from St Aidan. St Aidan's looking very strong early on in this one. St Pat's Navan athlete, which was our lad from that I mentioned earlier, Alan Monaghan, who won the Leinster Schools title. He's at the front as well at the moment, but at the moment you can see knockback athletes in there as well. So the usual powerhouses involved. I can see Clongowes packing very, very well at this stage. I've seen 3 of their athletes go by so far, and Rice College Westport looking really, really strong as well. They've quite a few athletes up there at the moment. Abbey CC going well as well. St Joseph's Galway involved. We could see maybe even a shock here from Rice College Westport if they were to come out and win this. St Pat's Navan, their athlete there in 6th place. St Aidan's in 3rd. Aidan's looking very, very strong at the moment as we come back onto our stream here at the moment. St Aidan's in 4th. You can see 2 red jerseys there. That is our lads from St Flannan's, I believe. So at the moment, our man from Closter as well there in about 9th, 10th place. Closter Mira there in 11th place. Paddy Marr from Dunshaughlin in the yellow, right next to our man from St Pat's Navan, who is our guy Adam Monaghan. I know Paddy Marr was way back in the intermediate race at the Leinsters, but he won the international schools last year. I know he was sick before Christmas, so has missed out on a bit of training, but really, really talented athlete and can't be discounted today. Not many people go over and win an international schools, and Quiva Harrington was one of them, and Paddy Marr was another in our last year's event. So they're normally very, very difficult to win, and Paddy won it by quite a distance, but not running to the same level this year, unfortunately, but it will happen over time. So madness here in the press box as we have a mouse that is distracting us hugely from the race here. It appears to be underneath this piano. we're quite scared. We've now started to stand on our chairs like two old women. Um, we'll tuck our socks in, our pants into our sock, and see how we get on. But I'm sure it's more afraid of us than we are of it. We still see St. Aidan's here going very, very well in about 4th place. So they're looking very good. Paddy Mars featuring strongly there in the yellow vest in about 5th place. So he's only going to get stronger as the season goes on, and looking very, very good. And as our mouse makes another appearance. St. Pat's Navan here, Alan Monaghan wearing the hat here in front and the yellow and black singlet. They've improved immensely over recent years, and have been pretty strong in the team events as well. I know they don't have a team in this age group, but I will say it was a very, very strong age group 2 years ago as juniors, where we saw St. Michael's and Enniskillen win the junior race. They don't seem to be featuring as strongly today, but they are a very, very strong race. I keep scaring the mouse away here with my loud talking, so next time he comes out we'll get him with some cheese. So for all the people who were so distracted 2 years ago by our talk about Kit Kats, this time we've been distracted by a mouse. So Paddy Marr still featuring strongly here in about 5th place. This is still a wide open race, plenty of athletes involved there. Rice College Westport starting to drop off quite a bit. They were heavily favoured early on, but this team title will take quite a while to decipher. Plenty of strong runs to come in over the next couple of minutes. So this is 5,000 metres, so we should see finishing time in around 17 minutes on this course. But they are nice and relaxed now at the moment as a group. Starting to break away there, about maybe 12 lads. Paddy Marr in the yellow just at the back of it. Our man from St. Pat's Navan, Alan Monaghan there at the front with the cap on. And we also expect to see the likes of Jamie Roach here from St. Flannan's in Ennis, heavily involved as well. They were wearing a blue singlet earlier on. I haven't seen them feature in this race yet, but always a very, very solid school. I know the Markhams, Niamh Markham and Liam Markham and Brian Markham, a very, very strong family down there over the years, and the Chesters as well, another very, very strong family, part of Ennis Track. They've all competed in Flannan's colours over the years, so it really was a family affair there for quite a few years. So this race is still anyone's race at the moment. We should see the likes of Patrick Manough from Banbridge Academy, Owen McCann from Rathmore and Belfast, Fintan Stewart from Lumen Christie and Derry, Philip Moran from Ratoath is a very, very strong athlete, Kieran Leach, Niall Harvey, Paddy Shaw. Leinster seem to be quite strong so far in terms of the depth in this race, but we're yet to see really, I suppose, a kind of a clear picture of how the team race is going and also how the individual race is going at the front. So we see plenty of spectators getting a good workout here, running back and forth across the field, which actually probably it is outlawed if you're running after the athletes consistently, but still a very, very enjoyable affair if you're running across after your athletes. It's hard not to, and you always want to get involved and kind of, I suppose, support your runners when they're out there, because it is quite tough. It's quite a tough event. So we still see these lads coming around here. Plenty of St. Flannan's jerseys in there. They went very well at Munster Schools level 4 in the top 11. Aidan still featuring strongly. I know they ran in the All-Ireland clubs last week, which may be still in the legs, as did a lot of Flavin's lads. Clostermura, a lot of those guys are out in Mullingar Harriers, and they did not run it last week, so they may be a little bit fresher for this race. You can see Alan Monaghan there in 2nd place. I'm just trying to get an idea of who exactly is leading this one. But Paddy Marr there, just the back of that group, in the yellow of Dunshaughlin. He won this race last year, but won this race as a junior. But he's sitting in at the moment against these older athletes. He's in about 5th place there. Alan Monaghan probably going to get best turned out with that outrageous hat. Surely at this stage is starting to heat up a little bit, but I suppose fashion has a price. Our man from St. Aidan's there, just in the back of the field, is Shane Merrigan. He's just there in the long socks. So these athletes have turned the corner again. You can see Charlie O'Donovan there from Clongowes in the famed green, black and white singlet of Clongowes. Plenty of great athletes coming out of there over the year. Mark Carroll, Marcus O'Sullivan. probably the school with the most world medals of any school in Ireland. You see another athlete coming in there from Dunshaughlin. St. Aidan's again featuring there. St. Flannan's in Ennis coming in with two more athletes. Two more athletes again. They're very much packing well. Closter Mirror Mullingar looking really, really good in this one. Knockbeg College there. That is Cormac Kelly, a DCU captain's younger brother coming in there. Also a cousin of Brian Kelly, who's won 2 national silver medals over 800 metres. But we move back here to Anna Monaghan in second place. Just trying to get an idea. I think we're looking at I think it's going to be Patrick McNiff of Banbridge Academy, but today I've been extremely wrong 90% of the time, as we have, to be honest, no major information coming into our hands, so it is guesswork. But Anna Monaghan has lost the hat. The hat has come off. He hasn't thrown it away yet. He obviously has paid a pretty penny for this hat and does not want to get rid of it, but he's moved into the lead there. You often get a bit of a buzz when you take off a hat or gloves and that cold hits you, and suddenly you're a little bit more awake and a little bit more aware of what you're doing, and you start to move away. So the hat is gone. He's dropped it off, and St. Flannan's in us here. I think that's Jamie Roach there in second place. So all running very, very strongly here. 3 lads starting to move away. Paddy Mars paying for trying to keep up with these athletes and has moved back out of that group. So plenty of athletes still involved here. Anna Monaghan is, after his slight bit of a burst there, has lost ground again. We're coming into what looks to be this last big lap here. Should take them about 4 minutes to get around this one. But very, very strong running here from our athlete in front. You can see very long legs there. He's starting to power away. There's not a pick of fat in him either. He's a lean greyhound, and no problems here moving away from this field. But Anna Monaghan has decided to close that gap again. 3 athletes moving away, making a break for us. These could be the medal men. Commentary there that could be Patrick McNiff from Banbridge Academy in first and Owen McCann in third Owen McCann now in second place with Anna Monaghan in third, so running very, very strongly there. These 3 athletes. Anna Monaghan starting to lose a bit of time and a little bit of positioning there on those top 2. Plenty of athletes there ready to take his place, though, if he does falter, as Charlie O'Donovan from Closter Tree, they're coming up to Paddy Murray. He's running very, very strongly here. Closter Mirror as well, heavily involved there in the green singlet. All green singlet. They've been running well throughout the day. Jack Moran being there, one of their major men at junior level. Sorry, that's Charlie Donovan coming through there to your picture in the green and white singlet. St. Flannan's there, 4 of those lads working together. They look like they'll have this team title wrapped up. 4 in the top 11 at Munster, so they're obviously packing quite well across the board. But these races are often decided by having a very, very good athlete in the top 15, and then after that, bringing your lads in around 30th place. But it's rare that, as you saw there with my own team, that we had 4 between 20 and 40. But unfortunately, we were missing out on that low number at the very, very start. But I think if you've got a low number, as the likes of not St. Flannan's, but the likes of St. Aidan's do, they've manned the top 8 here. So he'll definitely be looking to try and drag his team to the team title. But this could be between Flavins of Ennis, St. Aidan's, Coloshamura, and St. Michael's and Skillen. I haven't seen feature hugely, but they did win the junior title 2 years ago, so they have the pedigree. So our athlete's going to be coming around into shot now again very, very shortly. And this is, I believe that Patrick McNiff will win, and he is leading this at the field at the moment. And in second place, we have Owen McCann of Rathmore and Belfast. So he looks very, very strong at the moment as well. So there is a gap growing, though, as time goes on, and as Patrick McNiff goes up this little bit of a hill here, he'll go back out into the back end of the course here. As we've seen, so far, if you're leading going into this back end of the course, you're normally pretty good. You normally look pretty good for the end of the races. In the background there, I see a few AIT students getting ready. University students, they'll have all ran these cross-country races before. They'll have mixed feelings about these races, whether they've done well or they haven't. They'll have all endured the same pain that these lads are enduring here, and I actually will decide that that is not Philip or not Owen McCann, and it could be a man from St. Malachy's, as I saw a man from St. Malachy's shouting after those guys there as a guy from Clongowes comes in there, and I believe that man from Clongowes is Kieran Nolan, number 727, so they'll be heavily favoured for this team title at the moment. So we can see in the back end of the course there, Patrick McNiff, I believe, is winning this race from Banbridge Academy. His stride has not changed throughout the race. Nice high knee lift the entire way, and has looked really, really good for this race. Whether or not his runs will affect the rest of the race, as we have spectators here trying to enter the building. It's absolute madness there. There's obviously great excitement outside, and they were rattling on the windows there. But Patrick McNiff is looking like he's going to win this race. So I believe that was Patrick McNiff, but I could stand corrected. Any ideas, Brendan? Fergal Curtin getting involved there as well from Youghal, into trying to get in. I think he was in third place there as he came up the line in the red.
Collapsed over the line there.
Yeah, so great race. Long distance for these lads, 5,000 metres. So you guys probably, anyone that's listening, you've all ran a 5k or thought about running a 5k in the past on the road. This is a different predicament altogether on the cross country. A nice windy day like today, and at schools level they get out and they get after it, and
there's no holding back.
I see you've arrived with a coffee and a Twix, and yet no coffee and Twix for myself and Mark. Oh, Brendan, you've a lot to learn.
I counted all the change in my pocket. Had enough for one hot chocolate.
And we'll have an ad here from our sponsors, GloHealth, who are sponsoring this Irish Schools cross country.
Finally, there's a health plan for people who don't think they need one. The GloHealth Activate plans offer you unparalleled value, flexibility, and peace of mind. Activate Cash gives you generous cash back for scans and tests, and with Activate Hospital, you can upgrade whenever you want for faster access to private treatment. Switch to GloHealth and get your health cover from just €32 a month. GloHealth Activate. Cashback for scans and tests. Upgrade to a hospital plan whenever you want. GloHealth. My cover, my way. Finally, there's a health...
Streaming over the line there. All these athletes are fighting for team battles. So even if you're out in 30th, 40th, 50th, 60th place, even if you're the 7th man in your team, you could knock a 4th placer back of another team. So it's always important in cross country to make sure that you work as hard as you can the entire time and get over that line before other athletes. Obviously, the only other time we really see that is on the track in the 4x1, and it's not really, you're running against other people, but it's not the same level with those sprinters of this idea of really working hard back in the 70s and 80s and having that reason to work hard for the whole race, even though you mightn't be anywhere near the individual medals.
Well, that's the good thing about cross country as well. Like it is, often team titles are often decided by runners maybe could be as far back as 50th or 60th. And
being a member of the Florida State team, you ran an NCAA cross country at some stage. Were you an individual for that, or did you have a team?
We had a team, and actually the year that we finished 5th, our 5th scorer was 130th, I think.
Yeah.
So it just shows you that it's really a team focused event, cross country, as far as I'm concerned anyway. There's enough individual glory when it comes to track and field and road racing and things like that, but I really think cross country should be billed as the big opportunity to win team titles and excel in that area.
Yeah, I mean, like even looking at these ones today, like a lot of these athletes, especially the likes of Clongowes, St. Aidan's, Knockbeg, St. Flannan's, Michaels, they've come into schools, and Rice College, they've come into schools that have a very good tradition, and they probably wouldn't be running it if those schools didn't have an interest in these team events. And it's great. You got guys, you know, maybe finishing 7th, 8th on the team, but they're involved, they're running, and they're running from minor, junior, inter, and senior. And the thing is, over the course of those couple of years, you could improve massively as an athlete and become a very good individual runner. But you'll start off most likely being the